Okay, hello and good day to everyone that is currently tuning in here at Phoenix Holdings. Once again, this is going to be your host for today's AMA, CH. And right now we got our very special and handsome guest of a project that we got today from BankX, Lance Parker. Is that your actual name?
It is, yes.
Oh
And the
man,
way,
that's
I
true.
mean, I might have to come back again. The way,
Yeah,
you guys like
already
this
it's
video.
getting started.
Okay.
So
All
guys, I
right.
mean, from the get-go, dox his name, dox his face over video. Can't get as transparent as this in terms of AMA. So glad to
Yeah.
have you here.
Thank you. Good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So how are you doing today?
Good, good. Just trying to get the word out about BankX. I think we've got something special as far as stablecoin, so we want to tell people about it.
Yes, this is quite a unique concept. I mean, from my Reddit, a stablecoin project launching. Yeah, should be a really interesting AMA, I would say. So I guess to officially start off, can you please introduce yourself to us? Give us a bit of background about yourself in terms of crypto, and how did you end up to eventually creating this project?
Sure. So I've been in technology for 20 years. I started out my career selling seven-figure enterprise software applications to the CXO level. And one of those companies was MicroStrategy. So I used to work for Michael Saylor early on. After 12 years of that, I started a mobile security company and that had 50,000 users. And we won a CTIA Technology Award in Las Vegas. Then I had the interest started in blockchain. So I started a wallet and network company, which is a part of the BankX ecosystem. And while we were building that, I was looking at decentralized apps that we could use our wallet solution. And we were using Paxos as the stablecoin for this specific decentralized app. And then the more I looked at it, I was like, God, we could make a much better stablecoin. And that's when I started really diving into what was the state-of-the-art technology and what was being done with stablecoins. So I pretty much looked at all of them, and then decided, it's time to do what I'm thinking about with BankX. So I've actually owned BankX.io for 5 years. It's been something I've been thinking about for quite some time, CH. So this has been in the works for quite a bit. And I think just in general, I think stable coins hold the key to mass adoption of crypto. And if that's the case, then the wallet is the on-ramp. So we're looking at those two areas to keep pushing the ball down the field for cryptocurrency.
Several years in planning. And you mentioned the MicroStrategy, that company that bought a huge chunk of Bitcoins like a few
Yes.
months or years back. Wow. You're mentioning
Yeah,
some pretty
yeah.
big names here. You worked for
Yeah,
them?
yeah.
And
I sold when I started for MicroStrategy. I sold the first ever MicroStrategy 7 in North America, which at the time was pretty strategic for Michael Saylor and his company. And he announced me, and it was pretty exciting at the time. So he may remember me. It's been some years. That was early on, about 18 years ago, so 19 years ago. So, but he's back in the limelight. He's got the torch. He's got the crypto torch, and he's running around telling everybody about crypto. So that's great. So I think it
yeah,
always helps the cause, right?
definitely. And you got quite an impressive portfolio already, and we're just getting started with the AMA, I would say. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are curious here. What is it about BankX? Like, can you give us an introduction in what it is all about? We all know it's going to be a stable coin. So can you walk us through?
Yeah, generally it is a stable coin that pays you interest the entire time you keep the stable coin in circulation. So it's the first ever to do that. So you don't have to stake the stable coin to earn interest. You earn it just for minting and keeping that stable coin in circulation. So that is one of the unique capabilities of BankX. With our system, you never face liquidation. So that poses a very interesting concept of looping, where you can mint the stablecoin that's earning interest. Now you have a stablecoin that isn't staked anywhere to go be able to buy collateral and then use that collateral to mint more stablecoin, earning even more interest. So this idea of looping without liquidation is unique to BankX in the fact that you can create any passive income that you like with a stablecoin. So no matter what you want to do with your cryptocurrency, whether it's sitting idle in your wallet or you have some ideas of staking it somewhere, it would make sense to me that you would do this process in the BankX system and then come out with collateral or the same crypto that you started with and then go do whatever you like. So that, I think generally there's a couple other innovations we could talk about that are a bit more into the economics and technology, but that is the innovation we're bringing to the market. And I think what we are generally, CH, is the counter to what they're trying to do with central bank digital currencies. And that's why we call it the people's stablecoin, is we're about individual freedom. This is fully decentralized. There's no one in between you and what you want to do in the BankX system. It's just you and the blockchain. So you are the collateral owner. You're in complete control of it. When you mint the stablecoin, you decide when you want to claim your collateral back from the blockchain. So that's kept locked on the blockchain in the system that no one controls. Then you're able to mint the stablecoin that earns interest, and then you can stake in our certificate of deposit to earn even more returns. So this is the counter and the answer to a central bank digital currency, and something we call the individual created digital currency, or the ICDC, instead of CBDC.
I mean, first thoughts, this could be revolutionary in terms of what you mentioned earlier. But okay, another thing that's been going around my mind is that stablecoins nowadays, lately, especially during the bear market, has been not so stable. If you know what I'm talking about. First,
yes.
we got Luna.
Yeah, the obvious one,
Luna,
yeah.
even USDT has been reducing their value. So I guess that would be my first question.
Sure.
How much of a stability can you promise, I guess, and how will you be able to maintain that stability?
Yeah. So when I set out to design BankX, I looked at every protocol and what was working for them, what they've proved economically and in the market, and what didn't work. So to speak of the one that you didn't mention, but everyone's thinking about, Terra Luna proved that one price stabilization technique of being able to burn one token to mint the other, because there's that arbitrage opportunity that stabilizes the price of the stable coin. So example of that is if the price of UST was above the peg, you could burn Luna to mint the stable coin. And then since it was above the peg, you could sell it for a profit. So there was that arbitrage opportunity to be able to burn one token to mint the other. But so that worked, and it worked very well. It's just something, market forces and a no collateral stablecoin just doesn't work. Eventually, market forces can fail, or the market decides that they don't want to keep the peg anymore. So a stablecoin has to have collateral. So I would say we have one of their price stabilization techniques, but we're much more like Frax in that we are 100% collateralized, and it's a dual token collateral, meaning that you lock the native blockchain token, whether it's ETH or PLS or BSC, with the collateral percentage the system is posting, and the balance up to 100% in the BankX token. So there's always collateral backing the system. And so you could just look to Frax as the proof point that it will maintain its peg. There won't be any issues, and there's no bank run, because they've done very well at keeping the peg, even with the collapse of UST and this bear market. There's an interesting interview with the founder of Frax on the Defiant YouTube channel, where he talks about all of this, and they did some analysis where they concluded that it was mathematically impossible for Frax at the present collateral ratio for their stablecoin to lose the peg or for a bank run to happen. So they've done their deep analysis, and they've also sort of proven it in the market. So I would say all the great things about stability and the lack of a bank run and all of those things that you see already in the market with Frax.finance, I think is about over 2 billion in TVL with a B, really proves, I think, validation that we have the similar sort of solid aspects to the system as far as maintaining the peg and keeping a stable system within a stablecoin protocol.
Okay, well, to be perfectly honest with you, this is probably the first AMA that I've joined and hosted and also joined within several communities. So I guess that goes the same for a lot of our community members here as well. So
sure,
how can you actually profit from investing in a stablecoin?
Right. So the underlying token, though, is the BankX token, right? So the XSD stablecoin has a use case like every other stablecoin, right? So you have the ability to be in a neutral position. It's a pair for trading pair. It allows you to not have to go back and forth in fiat. It's great for payments. Holding your value, and just stablecoin in general with, being a medium of exchange, unit account, store value, all of those definitions of money and currency are with a stablecoin. So what we've done, CH, is we've created a token economic strategy, which we call AND, or always net deflationary. So if you're familiar with HEX, the certificate of deposit in our system is inspired by the HEX protocol. And what he proved and what we've learned from that system is that by inflating the token supply by 3.69%, he was able to incentivize and create a staking rate of 9.8% of the token supply. So by inflating the currency, he actually creates a deflationary environment because you're inflating by 3.69% and you get a 9.8% yearly staking rate. So we took that proven economic principle to a stablecoin. So if you remember, we talked about how when you mint the stablecoin, you have a percentage of a native blockchain token and then the balance of the BankX token to mint 100% of the stablecoin. So an example would be 80% BNB and 20% BankX. Well, that BankX that you're using to mint the stablecoin is a staking event because it's locked on the blockchain, just as if you were to lock it in the certificate of deposit. And so because it's a staking event, we can inflate the currency to pay rewards because the staking rate always outpaces the inflation we're causing to pay the rewards to do that behavior. So in this whole token economy, we have this net deflationary state, which over time is designed to have price appreciation to the BankX token, very similar to how HEX operates. And so it's very polarizing. You either love it or hate it, or think it's not a great project, or think it is. But it can't be denied of what he's proven in this idea of inflating to reward staking, where staking outpaces inflation. And it's just, I think it's as an economic major at George Mason, it's fascinating to see these things playing out. And so the rewards for minting the stablecoin, that's how it's paid, where there might have been some questions around how Terra Luna was paying these rewards through Anchor Protocol. It's very simple what we're doing and been proven in the market with HEX. And so the answer, sort of to get back to it, is, how do you make money in a stablecoin? Well, it's minting earns interest. That's one way. You can loop. You can stake in our CD, very, very inspired by HEX. And so all of these things create a deflationary token economy. And so by having the BankX token, it's designed for you to be involved in that price appreciation after the launch.
I would say that is definitely a stable way to create profit.
Yeah,
Because now, yeah, investors in pre-sales, private sales, they're gonna go token launch. They're gonna sell at X2, maybe even if they're desperate, X1.1. But this end, you need to hold. You need to exactly hold in order to profit
and
as much as you can.
and stake and mint. Absolutely.
Yeah, hold, stake, and mint. Okay, so yeah, really interesting that one. And as a stable coin, though, if I remember what I read in the website, it's gonna be launching under the Pulse chain.
So we're a multi-chain deployment. So we are on right now. We're targeting the top 5 EVM compatible chains. So it'll be on ETH, BSC, Pulse, Avalanche, and Phantom. So depending on the timing of Pulse, we'll launch there. We're in a sacrifice phase now for the Pulse chain deployment for BankX. So we're looking at a September launch on Ethereum. And the reason for that is the code is done. We go into smart contract security audit July 4th for 7 weeks. And that puts us about sort of end of August. And so we're looking at a September launch with that. So Coin Fabric is doing our smart contract security audit.
Okay, and when you say stablecoin, from what from my knowledge, it's normally connected to the centralized exchanges, unless there are some stablecoins that I have not heard of. So, will you be directly launching in a centralized exchange, or is it going to be on a decentralized exchange at first?
Yes, it can be, and anyone is welcome to take the BankX token or the XSD stablecoin and create a trading pair in any DEX or that. But I've had some conversations just initially with some centralized exchanges, so that is a potential. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with that yet, CH, but the other thing that we're bringing to the market in innovation around liquidity pools is BankX is going to own the liquidity pool pairs in each deployment. So that is the native blockchain token and the XSD stablecoin, and then the other pool, the native blockchain token and the BankX token. And so similarly to what Olympus DAO showed us is that it's much better for the protocol to control the liquidity pool because it prevents any rug pulls, and there's always a way to trade in and out of the stablecoin or the BankX token, right? So what we're doing is we're also a protocol-owned liquidity system. So what we're introducing, though, is a concept called integrated protocol-owned liquidity, meaning that word integrated means that it plays a role in the economic policy of the BankX token. So we inflate to pay rewards to that benefit the system, like minting earns interest in the CD. During times of collateral deficit, since we don't liquidate, we give rewards for selling crypto into our collateral pool to make up any difference. And so the system might find itself in an inflationary environment. So what the integrated protocol-owned liquidity pool will do is it'll act like a central bank of a country. And instead of just printing fiat currency into oblivion, this integrated protocol and liquidity system will burn newly sold BankX tokens, a percentage of them, after the seller has gotten their value from selling into the liquidity pool. And that's another mechanism to help us maintain that state called AND, or always net deflationary. So that was one of the things I sort of mentioned that was innovative about BankX, is this whole IPOL, or integrated protocol owned liquidity system that we're bringing to the market that's unique.
Okay, and just to clear it up, the stable coin and the native coin are two separate coins, or is it the same?
Exactly. So it's known as a dual token stablecoin, right? So you have the stablecoin, and then you have the BankX token, or the utility token. And the use of the BankX token is it's used as partial collateral to mint the stablecoin, and then it's used exclusively to stake in the certificate of deposit, which is inspired by Hex and very similar to that.
Okay, if I understand correctly, is it the same way how Tron and USDT works?
So USDT, so Tether So it might help CH just to give some distinctions between the different stablecoins. That might help people get an idea of how BankX is designed. So things like Tether or USDC are known as sort of centralized stablecoins, right? Because you're supposed to have a dollar for every USDC and USDT in the bank that represents that currency, right? And so it's very centralized. It's a company that's managing it. It's a bank that's holding your money. So it can be shut down. It can have issues like that, or it could be some of the questions we've had about Tether. That is there really the amount of Tether and USD in the bank? Are those numbers the same, right? Are they printing Tether or what's happening there, right? So after sort of that creation of a centralized stablecoin, then came along MakerDAO, which introduced this concept of using a cryptocurrency to pledge as collateral to mint a stablecoin. And so what happens with that is you lock it up on the blockchain and mints the stablecoin. And in MakerDAO's example, you would over collateralize it by 150%, and then that would mint the stablecoin. So the issue with that is if the underlying collateral, whatever you pledged, were to drop, the price would drop, then they would liquidate it, and you would be out of your position, right? So, and then of course we know about Terra Luna, which is that fully algorithmic stablecoin, which is it's a fancy way of saying it's software rules and market forces, which are some of the things we talked about. So that was an interesting experiment. So, after the collapse, that we learned a lot of things, right? And then after that came a protocol like Frax.finance, which combined a lot of the things except for the centralization. So it combined a lot of things of pledging collateral, having sort of some of these algorithmic software rules. So Frax is known as a collateral backed with some algorithmic software code to help maintain the peg. And so sort of following that evolution, we've really arrived at, I think, very close to, I think, what would be the winner in the stablecoin space of cryptocurrency. And so what we've done is taken all of those and added it, created some things that are new and innovative to sort of keep the innovation in stablecoin going. So I hope that helps sort of give some distinctions, because I think a lot of people don't really look into stable coins. I think they just use it, but there's key differences between sort of the types of stable coins that are out there. And what we want to do is move it to a fully decentralized stable coin that can't be stopped. One that's built for the individual and creates individual freedom, and something that can help to dethrone the legacy banking system. And that's what I think we've designed with BankX. So that I think should help sort of clear up any, what's the difference in stable coins and what's happening there, where people might just trade in and out of them and not know, what types there are, and what's the differences in that from a centralization perspective, from, how do you mint them, or do I face liquidation? There's all of that. Can it be shut down? Does Tether really have what they say they have? And so I think that's important to sort of give that perspective to your listeners.
Thank you so much for educating us. I mean, guilty. I am one of those people who just think that it's a stablecoin. You just liquidate your money through a stablecoin and your profits are safe. That's pretty much it. I did not know about the technology behind how stablecoins work. So thank you so much for the stablecoin masterclass that you've given us.
Sure. We have one of those too. But yeah, for people who thought they were safe in UST and just sort of moved out of some other crypto into UST, I think it's important to really look at what stablecoin you're in and what can happen, because there was a lot of people that got hurt with Terra Luna, as you know. So what it taught us is that for a stablecoin to be resilient and have longevity and really be the winner, it has to have collateral. There's just no way around it. And that was something early on that we identified. So we didn't look at any sort of pure algorithmic type of stablecoin. We knew it had to be collateral back, and we've been proven right with that just by what's happening in the market. So I think we've made some good moves as far as the design and the different capabilities of the system.
Well, that's definitely an eye-opener. What happened with USD, as you've mentioned, and I'm sure that a lot of people will be looking into doing more of their research in terms of which stable coins they're going to be jumping into. Well,
absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Talking about investments, though, so what are the ways to be able to invest in BankX?
Sure. So I want to sort of steer away from the word investment because we've structured a sacrifice phase on Pulse Chain, which is more of a political statement that the individual should create currency rather than a few individuals and powerful corporations and central banks. So we've structured it as a sacrifice phase where by sacrificing cryptocurrency, you get X points in a volume bonus. So the reason to participate in that is you get a volume bonus and X points, and those X points convert 1-to-1 to the BankX token at the launch of the BankX system on Pulse Chain. So there's different bonuses depending on what you do. And we did this sacrifice phase during the beginning of the audit and through the audit until launch because we wanted to continue to build the community and bring in more sacrificed crypto to help with liquidity pools and marketing and those sorts of things. So all of that information and how it works and how to participate can be found on our website at www.bankx.io, and there's a link to our sacrifice app, and it has all of that information. So that's how, if people want to take a deeper look at BankX and like what they see, they can get involved that way.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, you're not like this typical tokens where you're going to be having a launch pad. You're going to be having your own D-pad wherein people will be able to. I forgot the term you used. Not invest. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's a sacrifice phase. It's
sacrifice. Sacrifice.
Yeah. So it's basically a way. It's a structure where this does not fall under securities laws. So it's I think a better way to have a project. The other distinction between this is that when we launch, the X points have no value, and right at the launch, the XSD stablecoin and the BankX token launch at zero value. And the reason for that is because we're giving all these free things to sacrificers, so there will be no tax reporting. So this is a very interesting structure, and I think worked well as it's been done before, and so we like it better this way, to structure it this way, CH.
Okay, and another thing, I guess I don't want to rug the community of their questions. I'm sure they have their questions as well, so I'm gonna hold myself for some of my questions. So would you, Lance, are you okay to open the floor for some community questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, that's good. I thought you just wanted to add some other things, but I think it's just going to be answered to the questions that we're going to be having. So guys, as mentioned, the floor is now open for some community questions. So guys, as you know the drill. As always, if you wanted to ask any questions, please raise your hands up and I'll be allowing you to speak. And if you're not able to ask your questions over VC, just type it over the main chat. But as always, priority will be given to the VC questions. So guys, the floor is now open. Wait, okay, we already got a question here over the main chat. So how much is the percentage return we get on minting coins, and what's the max one can mint, or is there any limit for buying or staking? And if so, what will be the limit? And X amount per week or per day? And yeah, that was the first part of his question.
Yeah, so I see it on the chat there. There's no limit. So the percentage for minting is a minimum of 5% interest for minting. And so we do something unique, Francis, where our interest rate for minting the stablecoin is tied to the amount of collateral percentage of BankX. So if you remember, we talked about that example of 80% BNB and 20% BankX. So the interest rate is actually calculated of 1/2 of the BankX collateral. So in that example, it would be 10%. But the minimum you would earn is 5% for minting the stablecoin. So talks about any limit for buying if they're so this idea of, I think what you're getting to is the looping process, Francis. So this isn't a, hey, I just click a million times and I've looped. You know, there is some sort of speed bumps that slow that process down, right? So you have gas fees, slippage. Is the XSD stablecoin off the peg? Is there enough liquidity? Do you have to wait for the market to be incentivized to add liquidity? So it may slow things down where you'd have to sort of wait with that. It depends on how many people are looping and all of that. So I think that's what you're asking is, you know, is what's the limit there? And it's more market driven into the system.
Okay.
I can read the other one there. Launch on Avalanche as so we chose Avalanche because it's one of the top EVM compatible chains. So that's sort of the thought process there, Francis. So.
Okay, so we got some questions over the VC. I think we can let some of them speak before we move into the main chat again. So Jibenga, you're allowed. Sure. Yeah, Jibenga, you're allowed to speak. Please ask your question.
Hi, brother.
Hey, bro.
Thanks for the opportunity, man. Okay, yeah. So the project developers, I think this is very great. I just have a quick questions. Firstly, I would love to understand on the referral pattern. Is there any limit to which I can earn while referring? Do I have limits any while referring?
There's a little background noise. CH, I didn't catch that question.
Yeah, so I think his question mainly is about the referral program, and I don't think we had walked through that in the project. So can you tell us more about the referral program?
Yeah, sure. So in the sacrifice phase, there's various bonuses. So the referral bonus is that once you connect your wallet, and the sacrifice app will generate a unique referral link for you, so you could share that anywhere. And for every person that clicks on your link and sacrifices in the sacrifice phase, you get a 10% boost in your X points. So there is no limit to the number of people. And for every block of 5 referrals, you get another 10% boost in your X points. And then for clicking on someone's referral link, you also get a 10% boost in your X points. So we have that. There's a volume bonus also for the sacrifice phase. So we're in a 5.25x volume bonus, and that goes down a 1/4 point every week, and that will start on June 30th, dropping a 1/4 point. We have our leaderboard bonus, where the top sacrificed USD value wallet will get a 2.5 volume bonus, and then that steps down to 1x volume bonus at the bottom wallet. And we have something unique called the time machine bonus, where if you sacrifice in blocks of 25,000 USD in an individual sacrifice, not your total sacrifice, for each $25,000 block in an individual sacrifice, you go back 0.25 in volume bonus, or you move back a week. So an example would be if you were in the 4x volume bonus week and you sacrifice 100,000, then you would move back 4 weeks, or move from 4x volume bonus to the 5x volume bonus. So that's to encourage large sacrificers and Telegram groups to pull their sacrifice together to do it in one sacrifice. So those are the other bonuses I thought I'd just get into, CH, so everyone would know about those in addition to the referral bonus. But there is no limit to how many referrals you can have.
Okay. I think that will lead me to my question. Then, don't you think the system will be, there will be cheating on the system? Because for instance, if someone comes to the program and the person have probably a group where a lot of people where he can refer a lot of people to the project, and the person will be getting more money, and probably the person might not be contributing much token into the system. Don't you think that won't lead to cheating in the system? I don't know. Maybe you get my question.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I'm not sure I understand.
I think he meant regards into the people who might abuse the referral system. Is that possible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we track referrals, and you have to click on your link, and then we track that person, and then they have to sacrifice. So it's not just people clicking on the link. You have to. The person you refer has to click on the link and sacrifice. So we're tracking quite a number of things for that to happen.
Okay. Then the sacrifice the person is making, the percentage of that person's sacrifice will be my own reward, right? The percentage of the person's sacrifice.
No, it's per sacrifice referral. So whatever X points you have, it boosts your X points by 10% for each referral. So the referral is when they click on your link and sacrifice.
Okay, awesome. I think that is great. Thanks for the opportunity, CH.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Yeah, thank you again, as always, for your amazing question, Jibenga. Okay, we got another question here from Roadblock. This is more of a suggestion, I guess. Is there a video somewhere that explains how a peg is maintained for a stablecoin, specifically with BankX? I think this would be helpful, especially for a lot of people who are not that educated in terms of stablecoin, and also a good way to advertise yourself as an emerging stablecoin, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have 4 price stabilization techniques in BankX. To walk through, it's pretty straightforward, right? So if the stable coin is below what it should be, then the market's incentivized to buy it, knowing that it has software rules and exchange rates within the smart contract to basically make it at its peg. So there's these profit opportunities that when it's below the peg, you're incentivized to buy it, and if it's above the peg, you're incentivized to sell it. So that's one stabilization technique. The second is very much like Terra Luna, where we talked about, where you can burn one token at the price the stablecoin should be, as an example, and mint the other. So if the price is above the peg of the stablecoin, you can burn BankX to mint the stablecoin at the exchange rate it should be, or the price of the peg that it should be. And then since the market's paying more, you have a profit opportunity, right? And then the third is very similar to MakerDAO, where if the price of the stablecoin is above the peg, then you would mint the stablecoin because you're minting it for the price it should be while the market's paying above that price. So you would mint as much as you could so that you could sell it in the market for a profit. And the same thing would happen on if it's below the peg from a redemption perspective. So if you had collateral, then what you would want to do is buy the XSD stablecoin below the price it should be, and then you could redeem collateral at the exchange rate that you're supposed to be, or what the stablecoin is supposed to be, and you essentially make a profit that way by redemption. And then the final way is what Frax has proven, where you have this percentage of native blockchain token and the BankX token that is used to mint the stablecoin. And what Frax will do is if the price of the stablecoin is above the peg, it will lower the amount of, say, BNB that you need. So it would move, as an exaggerated example, it would move from 80% to 75% of BNB needed, increasing the amount of BankX tokens that are needed to mint. And that allows more people to mint, increasing the supply. So those are the 4 basic price stabilization techniques. So as far as videos, we've put a lot of content, not only on the website, but our YouTube channel. So you could, there's an explainer video where you can go and just get a quick introduction to BankX. And then we have a learn more section just under that on our YouTube, where we have 2 or 3 minute videos that talk about different aspects of the system. And then under that is a fundamentals section, which takes a deeper dive into various aspects of how BankX works. And then we have a master class under that. And so depending on how much you want to learn, you can do that at our website, bankx.io, or our YouTube channel. And we have lots of information to help show people how this works.
Yes, guys. So yeah, check out their website. It's been in the main chat. They have several videos there, the ones that you were asking. If you wanted to be further educated in this sort of stablecoin, which is quite new, as mentioned, to a lot of people here in the community. Okay, a quick question for myself. This is a decentralized stablecoin. So you're going to be launching in the decentralized space. Is this going to be the first one to launch in the decentralized space? Do you have any competitors as far as you know?
Well, I think decentralization is more of a lever from not centralized to fully decentralized. So we are a fully decentralized stablecoin, meaning that we're going to decentralize the front end after deployment. So by just the nature of the design, everything happens on the blockchain. So no single person or entity could shut down this stablecoin, because everything that we've designed is on the blockchain. There is no central point for collateral because we use other cryptocurrency as collateral, and no one can stop you from minting the stablecoin, and also no one can ever stop you from redeeming your collateral by paying back the XSD into BankX. So that idea of fully decentralized is where we are from a stablecoin perspective, where sort of the opposite of that would be Tether, which is pretty well centralized because you have a company managing it. You have them being trusted to hold a US dollar for each Tether, and they manage your money, right? So when you've minted Tether or the USD that's in their bank account, they're out there using your money to generate money for themselves and for their company, right? So it was an investigative reporter found that Tether was the 7th largest holder of commercial paper. So they're taking your money and loaning it to businesses. So our approach is that since you are owning the collateral, or in the Tether example, that's your US dollar. Since you're owning the crypto collateral, you should be in complete control of it. You are the one that owns the collateral. You should be the one that is creating currency, and you should be the one that's earning the interest. And so the decentralization sort of concept really, I think, puts everything back into your hands and in your full control, where with something like Tether, you don't have that.
Okay, and I guess, sorry for just cutting you off real quick. I'm just going to jump on to another question because I just look at the time, and time is running out fast, so I wanted to cover as many questions as
it does, yeah.
Yes. Quite a really interesting project, I would definitely say. So let's go one question. I guess we can handle one or two more questions. Big Justice, you're allowed to speak. Please ask your question. Big Justice.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. Going through your website, I saw some things that attracts me, and I saw you say after mining the Stablecoin coin that you pay, you can enter and you can now use the stablecoin.
I think you kind of cut off.
We lost
Big
Big
Justice.
Justice.
Yeah, Big Justice. Can you try speaking again? Okay, you're back.
Okay. I saw you say that you can pay, and you say in your website that you can buy and stake more stable coin. And I was saying that if I got to stake, like I buy some stable coin and I stake it every time, and I don't see some like reason for me to like stake it more and more, and I lose some interest. Is there a way you can boost my interest in this? Because we all know some more investors will be scared that now the market is really bad. Me going into this project will really be bad for me. So is there a way you can like increase my confidence in your project? And in that sense, when someone have confidence in your project. In that aspect, that person can call more people to your project, and that sense you have more people investing in your project.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make a distinction there that when you're earning interest on the stablecoin, it's not for staking. So you're earning the interest for minting the stablecoin. So you're bringing in some cryptocurrency collateral, in a Binance or Ethereum case, it would be the native blockchain token. So you would bring in collateral and the BankX token up to and that 100% value would be, you'd be able to mint the stablecoin. So the act of minting and then keeping it in circulation is what generates the return for you, or the interest and rewards paid to you. Now you have the stablecoin that you can go do whatever you like. It can be your neutral position. You can decide to loop, which we've talked about. And so that's how that works, Big Justice. So I just wanted, you were cutting out on my end, so I didn't catch everything that you said, but that's how that works. So that's the sort of the key distinction from what I could catch from your question.
Okay, so I want to say something. I see that your project is really a great project in which more people will want to invest in it. So can you just make like an avatar, like go to some website like Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, like advertise the project, not only in Telegram, because we don't know that it's not everybody in Telegram that is all investors. You can go to more social media and advertise the project, because not everybody in the crypto space is sensible for you. For like nobody, everybody know how to read the book, but you can go more to the more social media and advertise the project. In that sense, you all know will attract more people coming to the crypto space.
Yeah. So more marketing suggestions. Yeah. We're definitely expanding into other channels and things like that, Big Justice. But yeah, that's definitely happening. We have most of our community in Telegram, so we decided to start here to do that. But that's definitely in the works to do that.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. And I think, okay, let's try one last question before we start wrapping up. Sunlight S, you're allowed to speak. Please ask your question. Okay, going once. Twice. And twice, you're out. I'm sorry, man.
All right.
Okay,
stage
go
fright.
over the.
There's a little stage fright.
someone just gets really, once they're unmuted, they get some sort of, fear that, oh, I'm going to speak in public. They lost their question. I was like that when I was still asking questions to the AMA, so totally understandable. So we got a question here from Bella. You're allowed to speak. Please ask your question.
Hi, Lance.
Hi, Bella.
What's up? I just joined your project and your AMA a few minutes ago. So I just wanted to ask about that. What's your plan if the market is unstable? We hear about it daily that it has gone more depth in more into depression. So what is your plan? So what do you plan to stabilize your project in such condition, in such marketing condition? And what are the things which you are planning to do for investors like me? So how would you manage that, and how are you planning to cope up with that?
Okay, I just had a connection. I think I heard most of that, Bella. It's mostly about the bear market and how we're gonna deal with that, right? So I think we and go towards the launch. I actually don't mind launching in a sort of because I'd like the people who are in crypto now are crypto people. They're not sort of waiting for, the other people who like bull markets and they only come in. So I think we get much more of a passionate community. and then we're ready for when this market turns around. It took a little bit, and then we saw even greater highs after that. So I think we could build a really big, passionate market does come, and it will come back. To name for our, it's there's been some questions like, and so I don't really mind that part of it because I think it's the way I look at
think
it.
you're kind of cutting off. Can you hold speaking for a bit? Guys, is it just me or is Lance cutting off? Can anyone confirm in the chat? I think you were kind of cutting off. You can just continue talking without the video. I think it's having some issues. Yeah.
Some internet issues there, but in general, Bella, I think it's okay to launch in a bear market because we'll be positioned and build a passionate community because people in crypto in a bear market are for real crypto people. So we'll be in a position for when the bull market returns. So that's the thought process on that.
Yeah, to add to that, I totally agree with your sentiments with that. Projects that are launching within the bear market, they're mostly I've mentioned this in some previous AMAs, they are most likely the ones who's going to be getting the hype once the bull run has gotten started. I mean, lots of fear in the market. If you're going to launch a meme coin, you're not going to expect lots of X's from the get-go, X2 at launch, and then it's going to be a dumb fest afterwards. But if you're going to launch a legitimate project that's for long-term, the bear market is probably one of, if not the best time to launch your project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too. I think that's the time to build and launch is, I think, in bear and sideways markets, and you're ready, right? Because if you launch and then the bear market's over, or you only get the tail end of it, I think that's going to expand our reach too, right? Because we've already got a big community, and then we're out there, and then a bull market comes, and even more people hear about us, and I think it's going to magnify our presence and use of the system.
Exactly. It's going to be a good time to build your foundation, especially launching as a stable coin. So yeah, I think this is a good opportunity for you to do so. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think that covers pretty much all what we can cover within the VC questions and the main chat questions. And guys, I know you still have lots of questions. I still see some raised hands. So for those questions that were not able to be answered in this AMA, I encourage you to please join BankX on their Telegram group. It's going to be on the main chat, and I'm sure that Lance and the rest of his team will be more than happy to answer all of your questions in the project.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I guess with that being said as well, it's just about time for us to wrap up this AMA. So I guess can you give us a short summary on what BankX is all about for the people who are quite late to joining this AMA, and also why people should be sacrificing
absolutely.
this project in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely, CH. So BankX is the first cryptocurrency to pay you interest for minting a stable coin the entire time that you keep it in circulation. So we've designed the system to be a deflationary token, the BankX token. And right now we are in a sacrifice phase, meaning that you sacrifice cryptocurrency for X points, and those X points turn to BankX tokens at the launch on Pulse Chain on a 1-to-1 ratio. And the reason to be involved in the sacrifice phase is because you get a volume bonus and all these other rewards and X points. And so all the information is on www.bankx.io, and there's a whole section on the sacrifice phase, and we've built a sacrifice app to monitor and track all of your X points. And so it's all there. There's great information. I think we put a lot of time in on our YouTube, and docs.bankx.io has some other information around our white paper, and we have an economic audit done by Dr. Stadianos Kampakas that confirms everything that we're talking about from a tokenomic strategy. So I think there's plenty of information there to answer questions there.
First of all, Lance, thank you so much for choosing us, Phoenix Holdings, to host you on your AMA. This has been a really educational, even for me as a host, in terms of like a masterclass, I would say, in terms of stablecoins. And I am really thankful for that, and I'm sure the rest of the community is as well. So, guys, if you have some doubts into the legitimacy of the project itself, you can go to the website. You can see how Lance Parker is. Literally, his own name is his Telegram name. And if you missed it, he was in video from the start of, I think 90% of the entire AMA, he was video docs. And if I'm not mistaken, in the website itself, you have your, do you have your credentials?
I
do. You
do.
have your details there.
Yeah, there's also, I did a whole video on my background and, everything that I've done in technology and sort of my experience and sort of the journey to get to where we are now here with BankX. So I wanted people to know that, since there might be questions about that, and that's at the bottom of the website too.
Exactly. I mean, trust is the main driving factor of investors who jump in a project in this space that we work in, with the numerous scams and rug pulls that we got. And guys, this is not every day do you have a chance to be one of the primary or the earliest investors in a stable coin. So don't miss your chance. Go and join their Telegram group, their website. All the details are there. And as mentioned earlier, you can ask their questions, and Lance and the rest of his team will be answering all of your questions. So thank you so much, Lance. It's been amazing and awesome having you here at Phoenix Holdings. I'm personally interested and will be looking forward on the developments of your project.
Great. I appreciate it, CH. I appreciate all the questions too. Thank you very much.
Definitely. And thank you so much, guys, everyone, for tuning in again to another AMA here at Phoenix Holdings. That's it for me, and we'll see you again in the next AMA. Good night. Good day, everyone.